This MCQ is related to mechanics, in which the initial state of the particle is given, and also after a while its final state is described in terms of velocity. So we are asked to determine the distance traveled by the particle in given time, and the particle is electron. So an electron of mass 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg is moving with velocity of 10 to the power 5 centimeter per second. After 2 microseconds, the velocity becomes 4 into 10 to the power 7 centimeter per second. So we have to note that we are given three things in order to determine the displacement. One is the initial velocity, other one is the time, and the third thing is final velocity. These things are given. And the mass is irrelevant, because in order to determine displacement, here there is no need of mass. It is just described because the particle is defined that it is electron. That's why it is given. Otherwise there is no need of mass in this problem. So we have to determine the distance, that how much distance is traveled by electron in this duration. So we know that if we have only one velocity, then we have equation S is equal to V into T. Velocity into time gives you the displacement traveled by the particle, by the body, by the object. But here there are two velocities. One is the initial one, other one is the final one. So in such case, we have to use the average velocity to determine the displacement traveled by the particle. So average velocity into time. So we know that average velocity is the ratio of the sum of both velocities, means VI plus VF divided by 2. This is the average velocity and the time. Now initial velocity is 10 to the power 3 meter per second. So this thing is very important, that you have to convert the given velocity in terms of the SI units. So 10 to the power 3 and 10 to the power 5 into 4 and divided by 2. So when you add these velocities and then divide by 2 and then multiply with time, which is given 2 microseconds. So I'm writing down 2 microseconds means 2 into 10 to the power minus 6. So in this case, you cannot add both these values in a very simple fashion, because both have different exponential forms, 10 to the power 3 and 10 to the power 5. So in order to add manually, you have to make their powers same. Otherwise you cannot add. Or if you try to add, you will make errors to find the correct answer. So in this way, you can write the one as 0.01 into 10 to the power 3, but now will become 5, plus 4 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 2, and into 2 into 10 to the power minus 6. So in this way, the coefficients will be added and it will become 4.01. So you can write 4.01, and this 2 is dividing, this is multiplying, so cancel with each other, into here the 10 to the power plus 5 and here 10 to the power minus 6. So when you solve this, you will get answer 4 into 10 to the power minus 1, or you can write it as 0.4. and there is no answer which is indicating 0.4. But here the B option is 2 by 5, which means that 0.4. It means that the B answer is the correct one. So this is the correct answer for the given question. You can have another approach, that you first determine the acceleration and then you apply the second equation in order to determine the displacement, or you can apply third equation to determine the displacement, but the answer will be exactly same. So that's why we have to use any of these approaches in order to find the solution. So that is about the questions like this.